I call to order the meeting of the mayor and council, Borough of River Edge, regular meeting, October 24th, 2022, 7 p.m. virtual meeting. Please, let's have a moment of silence for all those who are suffering in St. Louis today with the school shooting, as well as all those who have been suffering in the Ukraine and anywhere where there's conflict in the world, as well as I believe all those who suffer from domestic violence, because I believe this is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Let us do the pledge. Ready, salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Statement of compliance with the Open Public Meeting Act. This meeting complies with the Open Public Meeting Act by notification on January 7th at this location. Date and time to the town news and the record, and by posting of the same on the municipal bulletin board and borough website. Filing notice of the same with the municipal clerk. Notice of this meeting via the October 7th, 2022 sunshine notice contains the time, date, and access information, was sent to the record and town news and was posted on the bulletin board and the website. Madam Clerk, roll call.
Councilwoman Bastide,
Here.
Councilman Kanigo,
Here.
Council President Kaufman,
Here.
Councilwoman Kinsella, Councilwoman Kinsella,
Here.
Councilwoman Malalari,
Here.
Councilwoman Montesano Cohen,
Here.
Mayor Papaleo.
Here, Michelle, I just got a text back from Tom. Oh, here he is. Tom Solo is here. Very good. Okay, very good. All right then. We have the council is present. Our roll call is complete. We now need to go into closed session, exclude the public. So could I have a motion from Council President Kaufman and a second from Councilwoman Bastide for a resolution to go into closed session, exclude the public, closed docket number 22-10/24-1, attorney-client privilege department organization, and 22-10/24-2, collective bargaining contract negotiation update.
So move. Second.
We
I
need
believe-
to add, excuse me, I'm sorry. We need to add an additional item that's attorney-client privilege and involves sidewalk and certificate of occupancy matter.
Okay, so that would be 22-10/24-3.
Correct.
Very good. Tom, I don't believe this requires a roll call, it just requires unanimous consent. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstention? Alphonse, we're going to be coming back in anywhere from 40 minutes to an hour. Okay, well, that solves that. And so I'm going to leave this and we're all going to go to closed session. I call to return to order the meeting of the mayor and council, October 24th, 2022, regular meeting. We have just been in closed session and we're returning to open session. Madam Clerk, roll call.
Councilwoman Bastide,
Here.
Councilman Kanigo,
Here.
Council President Kaufman,
Here.
Councilwoman Kinsella,
Here.
Councilwoman Malalari,
Here.
Councilwoman Montesano Cohen,
Here.
Mayor Papaleo.
Here. Our first order coming back in is girls softball, but we do have a firefighter present. Would there be an objection to me swearing in our firefighter first, and it won't take long, and then us moving to the girls softball, because that will be, a rather lengthy presentation or discussion. Is there any objection? All right. Is that on resolution, or have we already done it? I think we've already done the resolution, haven't we, Lizette?
I believe it's on the consent agenda, Mayor.
22-301.
301.
22-301. Ah, there it is. I'm sorry. When I looked last, I didn't see it. So I thought maybe we had done it prior. All right. Matthew, it's good to see you. Welcome here. Let me see. Matthew, I have here the document that I'm going to sign after swearing. Oh, this is a problem with it. Swearing you in.
No worries.
And you'll have to come and co-sign it, okay?
Okay. Let me know when and where.
Lizette can arrange that, but he pretty much can stop by. Lizette, he can pretty much stop by anytime between 9 and 4, I think.
Yes, for the next couple of weeks.
I can be there tomorrow if you would like.
Well, that would be great, but if there's a conflict, don't worry about it because you are sworn in. This is just the paperwork that needs to be done. I actually have to drop it off. So
Okay.
So why don't
No
we
worries.
say maybe Wednesday?
That's
Okay,
fine.
great. Okay, could I have, let's see, can I have a motion from Councilwoman Fire Department? It's Councilwoman Kaufman and a second from Councilwoman Kinsella to move resolution 22-301, approve the appointment of a volunteer firefighter.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
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 Are there any oppositions or abstentions? Hearing none, it is unanimous. Congratulations. Now, Matt,
Thank you.
first of all, thank you for being part of this. For the public's benefit, it's a tremendous commitment. It's about 6 months of training, right?
Yes.
How many nights a week?
2.
2. And that's at where?
I would have to confirm with Rob which class I would be taking.
Okay, so some of them I think is at the Bergen County Academy and some are up at the fire department in Mahwah.
Correct.
So, I mean, it's a bit of a drive, it's a bit of a commitment. And so we cannot thank them enough and we cannot be prouder of you, Matt. And do you prefer Matt or Matthew?
Either way.
Matt's commitment as well as all of our other volunteer firefighters. So Matt, is there anyone with you? Because if you want, you can put them into the screen because this is going to go up on YouTube and then on the mayor's page.
No one's with me right now, but
At least no one wants to come in front of the camera.
yeah.
So Matt, would you please raise your right hand?
Yes.
And if you're so inclined, you can put your left hand on a Bible. If you're not, that's okay too. And repeat after me. I state your name.
And Matthew Zuki.
You gotta say I though.
I, Matthew Zuki,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the State of New Jersey,
of the State of New Jersey,
and that I
and that I,
will bear true faith and allegiance
through faith and allegiance
to the same
to the same
and to the government established
and to the government established
in the United States
in the United States
and in this state,
and in this state,
under the authority of the people.
under the authority of the people.
I state your name,
I, Matthew Zuki,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully,
faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly
and justly
perform all the duties
perform all the duties
as a member of
as a member of
the River Edge Volunteer Fire Department
the River Edge Volunteer Fire Department
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Matthew. I'm going to sign it right now. If you'd like to offer a few words, we would be all ears if you just want to say a little bit about this. And if you don't, that's okay too.
No, I just want to say thank you for giving me the opportunity to become a volunteer fireman for River Edge. It's something I always wanted to do. It's a community I always wanted to be a part of, and I'm basically planting my roots here. So with everything going on,
I
so
think
now's an ideal time for me to give back and help the community the best that I can, and I want to help.
wonderful, wonderful, Matt. Thank you so much. We look forward to seeing you protecting our residents and, all the best.
Thank you.
All right, take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, so we now have a presentation of the girls softball field by the Rec Commission. We have many members of the Rec Commission here with us tonight. So I recognize Alicia Armentella as co-chair with Dalia, I'm blanking on her first name, Miss Dalia, and members of the Rec who are present. Alicia, you have the floor.
I believe Michelle's going to do the presentation, right?
Well, Michelle, you have the floor. Michelle Ryan, our temporary Recreation Commission Director. Michelle, can you hear us? You're muted.
I'm sorry, Mayor, I had connectivity issues, but
Not an issue. We're all having these sorts of problems. Go ahead.
thank you. Good evening, Mayor Papaleo, Council President Kaufman, Recreation Liaison Councilwoman Kinsella, council members, and Administrator Aportella. Thank you for inviting the Recreation Commission to attend your meeting tonight to discuss a long-term solution for field use by the Regal Girls Softball Program. On behalf of the board, we appreciate your commitment to working toward the betterment of the borough's sports programs and facilities. On July 20th, 2022, after being tasked by the governing body to address the field usage needs of the girls softball program, the Recreation Commission discussed this matter and then created a subcommittee comprised of Alicia Armental, Alphonse Bartoloni, Anna Dalia, and Brianne Etter to identify inventory within the borough suitable to dedicate for girls softball field use, to deliberate the options, and to work with the community stakeholders to propose a comprehensive long-term solution. It should be noted that Anna Dalia excused herself from the subcommittee so that there would not be any violations of the Open Public Meetings Act. On September 14, 2022, the subcommittee met with representatives of Regal and baseball/Little League to discuss their respective programs' needs and goals. The Recreation Commission subcommittee was represented by Alicia Armental, Alphonse Bartoloni, and Brianne Etter. Regal was represented by their interim president, Dan Sansevier, treasurer Cindy Talty, secretary Ryan Gibbons, and travel softball director Dean Rayside. Baseball was represented by their president, Jim Blackman, 2023 incoming president, Tom Koch, Rob Berninger, and Frank Stramiello. Recreation Liaison Councilwoman Kinsella and I also attended. At that meeting, Regal and Baseball shared with us that they had met several times prior to this matter, and were happy to announce their cooperative relationship and willingness to work together. As an aside, they also shared that they have decided to combine opening day ceremonies for softball and baseball in the spring, are exploring co-ed teams for preschoolers, are communicating to optimize usage of fields and potentially free up time slots for other sports organizations' use, and will be coordinating on joint purchases of equipment as appropriate to possibly reduce costs. Dean Rayside presented a proposal to improve the 2 existing softball fields at Roosevelt School for the betterment of the girls' softball programs on behalf of Regal. Before I discuss all the details of the proposal, I wanted to share a little background on Regal's program. In 2022, Regal softball had 286 girls from grades K through 8 participate. Their softball program runs from late March through July each year, and they primarily use 2 fields, north and south, at Roosevelt School, which is also used for the soccer programs in the fall. I also want to share the process that was taken to get us to this point. After the September 14th meeting, the proposal was provided to the full Recreation Commission. The subcommittee discussed it with the Recreation Commission members at their September 27, 2022 public meeting. At that meeting, it was decided to hold a meeting with the community stakeholders during the second week in October. A meeting was held on October 13th at Company Firehouse Number 1 with the following community stakeholders invited: Regal, Baseball / Little League, Riverdale Soccer, Blackhawk Soccer, both women and men's softball, women's kickball, River Edge Environmental Protection Commission, River Edge Shade Tree, the Save Our Park Committee, River Edge DPW, River Edge Police, River Edge Volunteer Fire Department, River Edge Volunteer Ambulance Corps, and representatives of the Ridgewood school community, including the administration. Almost all of these groups were represented with 23 people in attendance, including Alicia, Brianne, and myself on behalf of Rec, Regal and Baseball, and River Edge.
You froze, Michelle. We're going to wait for you to open back up. You might be able to hear me, but we have lost the audio and video on you.
Questions and offered helpful suggestions.
Michelle, we
Yes.
lost you for a few moments, for about 10, 15 seconds. If you can go back about 10, 15 seconds.
Sure. Did you hear all the community stakeholders that?
You did.
Okay. Almost all of these groups were represented with 23 people in attendance, including Alicia, Brianne, and myself on behalf of Rec, Regal, Baseball, and River Edge School Business Administrator Luann Napolitano. Rec Liaison Councilwoman Kinsella was also present. At that meeting, the proposal that I am about to share with you was presented. The stakeholders in attendance asked relevant questions and offered helpful suggestions, discussing everything from logistics, potential funding sources, to making sure that the long term is considered when designing a plan to ensure that future needs may be addressed. It was a very positive first step with the support of all in attendance. At the October 19, 2022 Recreation Commission public meeting, the subcommittee reported on the stakeholders meeting, and the Recreation Commission again discussed this matter. It was unanimously decided by those members present to move forward in support and request that the mayor and council consider engaging the River Edge Board of Education as well as the borough's engineer to improve the Roosevelt Schools softball fields for the long-term use by the girls softball program. There are four main components which are being proposed and recommended to provide a safer and more adequate program for the girls softball, one which will eliminate the difference in experience that presently exists. The first item is sprinklers, drainage, and regrading. The top priority is to install sprinklers and address poor drainage on the fields. Currently, Ryan Gibbons of Regal is in charge of maintenance of Roosevelt Field. Maintenance currently includes volunteers dragging a 400-foot hose to water the infields daily and twice per day in the peak of the season. This process prevents the clay infields from getting too hard, which is unsafe and can cause injuries to the players. This is also a big time and labor commitment on volunteers, and while there is a commitment to handle this task now, it may not be sustainable in the future. Regal has proposed putting in a sprinkler system in the infield on both Roosevelt North and South softball fields. The Recreation Commission is in support of this and asks that an option of a sprinkler system in the outfield also be explored. In the fall, these fields are used by soccer, and there is a lot of wear and tear to the fields with little downtime to recover for the next season's activities. A full sprinkler system may improve the conditions of the entire field as well as improve the experience for the soccer program. In addition, the Recreation Commission requests the borough engineer look at existing drainage as well as the current grading of the fields to determine what, if any, improvements may need to be made to address such issues. The Recreation Commission also requests the mayor and council engage the River Edge Board of Education to obtain permission for such improvements. The second item is dugouts. The second priority is to install dugouts over the player bench areas. Currently, there is no protection or relief from the sun for any players who are on the bench or in the bench area. As a result, players experience all the elements, and in the summer, pop-up tents are put in areas behind the benches in an effort to provide some shade and relief to the players. Regal has proposed to install open-sided dugouts over the bench area to provide proper coverage from the elements. The Recreation Commission is in full support of installing 4 open-sided dugouts, one at each of the bench areas on Roosevelt North and South Fields. The Recreation Commission requests that the governing body authorize the borough engineer to provide cost estimates and scope of work. They also request the governing body engage the River Edge Board of Education to obtain permission to install them. Am I able to share my screen to show pictures?
Sure, but don't you want to finish all 4 items and then go back?
Sure, okay. Scoreboards is the third component. Regal has proposed
So
scoreboards.
Michelle, you understand why I said that? Because once you start presenting screen, there are going to be questions, and so it's best to
Sure.
get the whole thing done and then move on to the presentation.
Sure.
Sure.
Thank you.
okay.
Regal has proposed scoreboards be placed along the right field lines of Roosevelt North and South Fields. As there may be issues with running electricity, they have proposed solar-powered boards. Installations of scoreboards will keep coaches, players, and spectators easily up to date on game information, as well as provide the girls' teams with a similar program experience that other River Edge sports programs.
Michelle, you're frozen again. We'll give you a few moments. You'll unfreeze. And everybody, the last thing she said was what? Michelle, you were frozen, you're back. You were saying that solar power, if electricity is difficult, and I think you were stating 2 scoreboards, correct?
Yes.
Continue from there.
Okay. Thank you. And I apologize.
It's not your fault. Don't worry. You don't need to apologize.
The Recreation Commission supports this request and asks that the governing body request the borough engineer to review for feasibility and cost of implementation, as well as seek permission of the River Edge Board of Education to install. The fourth component are batting cages. Regal has proposed putting either a single lane batting cage, which is 55 feet by 14 feet by 14 feet, or a double lane batting cage, which is 55 feet by 14 feet by 28 feet in the grass area to the right of right field when standing at home plate of Roosevelt North. Batting cages can help develop skills and build upon proper hitting mechanics, thereby creating a more experienced player. Regal is proposing to use a batting cage with netting all around it that will be removed at the end of the season, leaving just the frame. The current pitching machine that Regal uses is portable and powered by a battery-operated generator, which does not produce gas fumes and is quieter than a traditional one. Any structure placed will comply with current regulatory standards. The Recreation Commission supports this and requests the governing body to authorize the borough engineer to explore whether the proposed area is suitable for 1 lane or 2, and to provide cost estimates and scope of work. The Recreation Commission also requests that the governing body seek the permission of the River Edge Board of Education to place this once suitability of the area has been determined by the engineer. An additional request that the Recreation Commission has is for the governing body to authorize the borough engineer to consider 3 separate options to install synthetic turf as an alternative. The options
Let me stop you
requested,
there for a second. You say thick turf. Do you mean artificial turf?
synthetic turf.
So you are saying artificial turf. Okay,
Yes.
go ahead.
The options requested to be considered are the entire field, just the infield, and then just the outfield, and what such installation would entail. I do have some pictures, if that would be appropriate.
Just something that wasn't clear to me. It might have been clear to other council members. You said the batting cage would be 55 by 14 by 28 was the second one. What was the first one? 15 by 14 by?
14.
So 14 by 14.
Yeah, it's yes, half that.
14 feet tall, 14 feet wide, and 55 feet long.
Yes.
Okay, great. That helps me. Thank you.
Michelle, is your report in the email you sent us? What you've just
Yes.
read? Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Continue, Michelle.
Is it okay for me to share my screen now?
Absolutely. Do you have a button for that? If not, we'll give you one.
Yes, I do. Can everybody see?
No, I don't see anything. We have it now, Michelle. It's coming up.
Okay. Do you see the Regal Hawks softball Roosevelt improvement?
No, we see Roosevelt South exposure. We see a bench with fencing and the field, and the view is looking towards Roosevelt School.
Okay. Well, I'll go a little bit out of order then. This is, like Mayor said, this is Roosevelt South, showing the benches. They are exposed to the elements. This is where we're proposing, or one of the 4 locations that we're proposing to put dugouts.
Hold on, Michelle, because we're having connectivity problems. Is there a question related to this photograph, or so if any member of council, after we after Michelle explains the photograph, if any member has a question at that photograph, I think it'd be easier than us going back and forth between photographs. Is there a question in regards to this image? Hearing none, we'll move on.
Thank you. And when I can figure out how to get another picture up, I will show you what the proposed dugouts look like.
Michelle, are they in the what you sent us?
Yes.
Okay. Council President, by any chance, can you put up the presentation that was sent in by email?
1 second, I'll try.
Michelle, you need to take this down and turn off sharing. Michelle
Okay.
Ryan. Okay. Now we'll just give the council president a moment to see if she's capable of presenting.
Okay,
Ah,
so
here.
we're at the first slide right now, and should I move to the second?
Yes, please.
Yeah,
Thank you.
is that what you want?
Yes, that's fine. Thank you. This is a picture of Roosevelt South, where home plate, it's not a great picture. I have an old camera. And I'm not a great photographer, but if you can see, home plate is not even with the clay. And that presents a potentially dangerous situation. Also, it should be noted that I believe that this is a picture taken after work was done previous season to address conditions such as this.
Okay.
This photo is just depicting the clay runoff at Roosevelt South, as you
Oh,
can.
so that's not intentional. That's a water runoff.
I believe so. Yes.
Alicia, is that correct? That's a water runoff?
Yeah, that's not intentional.
Okay. Go ahead, Michelle.
Thank you. This picture is of South's right field, Southfield's right field. And the scoreboard would go around where the end of the tree line is.
So are you guys looking for the scoreboard to be in line with the bleachers on the other side of the fence?
Yes, more to the right of that fence, black fence.
Okay, so to the right of the black fence, but with inside the, for lack of a better, the silver fence.
Yes.
Okay, keep going.
This is the area where they're proposing to place the scoreboard for the north field, and also a little bit more towards the right, the 1 or 2 lane batting cage.
So are you saying pretty much where we see the soccer nets?
Would be more where the batting cage is being proposed. Yes.
Okay. All right. Are there any, I don't believe there are, but are there any other pictures that you want us to present?
If Council President Kaufman could just pull up the PDF of the proposal from Regal. Yes, thank you.
Sure.
If you could just scroll right after this dugouts. These are dugouts that they are proposing to place over the benches. The middle picture is, and I believe the picture to the right, are currently at the Emerson High School. And they would be looking to do a similar installation.
Okay.
Thank you. And just this, if you could stop at this page, scoreboards, that is a rendering of scoreboards that they were considering.
Oh, that they want us to consider. I get that.
Yeah.
That sounds, that's good for us to get an idea.
And then this Last picture is of the batting cages that they're proposing.
Okay. All right, Michelle, is that the conclusion of your presentation or you have more to say? It's fine, I just don't know.
No, I just wanted to say, on behalf of the Recreation Commission, thank you for your consideration. And now I'm going to turn it over to the subcommittee members, Alicia Armental, Alphonse Bartoloni, and Brianne Eder for their comments. And we're happy to answer any questions that you may have. And thank you.
Michelle, I want to compliment you on an outstanding presentation. Well done.
Oh,
And I
thank you very
want to
much.
compliment the subcommittee and all the stakeholders and everybody who's been involved in this process. Very thorough, very thoughtful. Alicia, Brianna, Alphonse?
I just wanted to say that, when we first had our meeting with Little League and Regal, I just wanted to say it was a really nice meeting that, Little League, like Michelle had said, Little League and Regal had met beforehand. And just the way they kind of came together and talk about, possibly combining opening days and talking about scheduling together to really maximize every single minute of every single field time we had. It just felt like there was no more like us and them. It was kind of like, let's do what's best for everyone together. They talked about the possibility of skinning fields. We talked about Memorial. We talked about Roosevelt. Nothing was off the table. Nothing wasn't, it wasn't like, oh, we don't want to do that. You can't have this field. There was none of that kind of conversation. It was whatever was best for all of the kids in River Edge. And I just wanted to make sure that, you guys felt that as well. Because it really was, I feel like, Councilman Kinsella could agree with me. It really was such a heartwarming, lack of a better word, meeting where I feel like we all just kind of came together to say, this is what's best for everybody. And our community meeting was wonderful to have everyone's support. Even the business administrator from River Edge was there and she seemed to be super open to everything. So it was a really productive and positive meetings that we've had. Michelle has done a great job organizing everything. And I appreciate everyone coming together for the kids of River Edge and the girls. So it was nice. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Brianna, Alphonse?
Yeah, I agree with Alicia. It was very good to see all of our community really come together. The stakeholder meeting went very well. We didn't have any arguments. Everyone was there to really make sure that our kids are getting the opportunities that are available to them and should be available to them. Very much on equality between boys and girls, and also including all sports too, soccer, baseball, everything. Softball. So it was nice to see everybody come together in a nice cohesive manner and not have screaming matches. Everyone really seemed to be on board with Michelle's presentation. She did a fantastic job. She came in and really got the ball rolling and did a really great job with her presentation. And I was very impressed with Regal and their baseball on how well they had come together originally. So it was good to see that.
Alphonse?
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to say that Michelle's done a fantastic job really in taking the lead with this. I don't know how much longer she's going to be with the borough and with us, but she's done a fantastic job. I think she outlaid what the Regal is looking for. And hopefully now the mayor and council will engage with the borough engineer who can flush this out a little bit more and hopefully move this project forward.
Excellent. Would the subcommittee wish to say more? All right. At this point, what we're going to do is move you from panelists to attendees, but we'd ask for you to stay on just in case we need to bring you back in for more discussion. Is that acceptable? Great. Michelle, if you could move them to attendees at this point. Leave Michelle Ryan in because, of course, she's a borough employee. Okay. So, so to frame this was just a presentation. The council needs to discuss how it wishes to proceed. Does it wish to look at the the presentations and think about it for another discussion? Does the council wish to talk about it tonight? And what would be on for tonight? I'm going to come to you, Councilman Kanigo. If the council chose to discuss this tonight, there would be several things that the council would need to consider. And so we might want to do it tonight, might do it at the next meeting. It's up to the council. So one, the council would want to discuss with the BA about whether or not we wish to engage our borough engineer in one or all 5 options, or any combination of those, for either a preliminary comments or more thorough. Okay. 2, does the council wish for myself and or myself and council members to enter into a dialogue with the superintendent and the board president? Or does the council wish for that to wait? Or does the council wish to attend an open session of BOE? I don't recommend that last one, but that is something the council could choose to do. 3, does this council wish for legal advice from Mr. Sarlo? Does the council wish for, and that can happen concurrently with the engineer or with discussions with the BOE. Okay. So does the council have questions that they want Mr. Sarlo to look towards? There was one more, hold on. Michelle, remind me, was Jason involved in any of these discussions? Our superintendent of public works.
Not these discussions, no.
Okay. So does the council wish for Mr. Melito to weigh in on his thoughts about that? I would assume so, but of course these are all council decisions. And there may be another thing that during debate, if you have and the council can have a general debate or an in-depth debate. It can simply, instruct for exploration, very surface, or it can ask for more in-depth exploration by our engineer. The engineer thing is either let it wait, have our engineer simply comment, or have our engineer do some general ideas of something a little bit more thorough, but certainly not plans, because that would be a larger expense. Now, before the council enters into debate, Lizette, in regard to our engineer budget line, is this something, I think it is, but it may not, is this something that we currently have funding for, or will we need to look for funding for either a cursory or in-depth look?
It is not a budgeted item. We do have a special projects line. Asked for a cursory amount, depending on what would be involved, whether it's to draft, not to do plans as you had mentioned, but to draft estimates, look at what the request is, and we would be charged the hourly rate. So if it was about 3 hours worth of work, that's around the ballpark of $500.
So reasonable.
Depending on how in-depth the work is being requested.
Okay. So my recommendation to the council, but it's the council's decision, and I'm going to recognize Councilman Kanigo first, is the council, I would recommend the council have the engineer do a cursory review. I recommend the council, ask Mr. Melito to weigh in, maybe even the fire department, the police department, and any other department, just so that that those reports come to us prior to the next meeting. As for reaching out to the BOE, I think that's a good idea, but that's really a council choice, whether they want me to do it alone. I don't think that's a good idea, or myself and members of the council. So I recognize Councilman Kaniga.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and I'm sorry to everybody if I freeze up. I have no control over Verizon. I'll try to be as brief as possible. I would ask that we put this over until the next meeting. There's a lot of questions to be answered. I think that we need some sort of commitment from the BOE. I think we need to look at the Rec Commission's budget, because these are all items that should be coming out of Rec Commission. They shouldn't be coming out of DPW. This is certainly not an emergency. I appreciate all the hard work that everybody has put in so far. But a lot of these questions were asked before and they were answered before. And the Board of Education told us in no uncertain terms no to many of these wants right now. I appreciate Ms. Ryan probably doesn't have the history behind it. She has not been as involved in it as I have been for the past 8, 10, 12 years in seeing this happen and taking it through the Board of Education, various meetings with different Board of Education. Again, I understand it may be a new superintendent, new Board of Education, but before we spend any money on this very, very, very tough budget season, where we're going to have a lot of very difficult decisions to make, and we're going to be spending a lot of money, before we spend any money on this, we need to look at what has been done only as recently as 4 or 5 years ago. A lot of these questions have been answered already. We know that the last Board of Education didn't want batting cages and told us no in no uncertain terms. Going back and asking for the same thing without some sort of understanding that they're at least considering it before engaging the services of an engineer makes no sense to me. I received, and Ms. Ryan, I know you did a great job here and you worked very hard at it, but I received this email minutes before this meeting started. I have not been able to go through all the pages that you sent. I have not been able to give it the proper consideration. So I would just ask this council to put it over till the next meeting so that the questions can be asked and answered, and we can see what we're doing. Thank you.
Councilwoman Bastide.
Thank you. I also want to thank Michelle, Ryan, and the members of the Rec Commission, Little League, Regal, and the other stakeholders for putting together a comprehensive proposal. Sorry, that's my dog barking. While I'm fine with holding over the debate and authorizing the engineer for the next meeting, I don't think we should hold over authorizing Tom to engage with the Board of Education to have these conversations, because we need that information to inform our debate for the next meeting. So I would urge this council, and if the council agrees, I would make a motion that Tom and perhaps Lizette engage with the Board of Education with the proposal that's before us to take their temperature. I have more of a positive view. I think that they are going to be more open than they may have been in the past, and I'm going to keep a positive frame of mind for that. But I think that's a step we cannot wait until the next meeting to authorize.
So we have a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
There's a second.
We're now open for debate, and since we're open for debate, I can add comment. I believe from informal conversations I've had with the superintendent that they are open to most, if not all of these, though I never had a conversation about this in detail. I also believe since the business administrator, Luann, since what's Luann's last name?
Napolitano.
Luann Napolitano was present at the meeting, that there is good reason to believe that she has reported back because his presentation was made, and since she made such affirmative comments to Michelle at that meeting, I would think that would be something to give us an idea. So now we are still in debate over the motion and the second. Councilman Kanigo's hand is up, so I will recognize him.
Just a quick question: were the I guess the neighbor stakeholders who would be affected by signs and such that goes up, were they spoken to by Rec? The people along Bogart and the people along Oak, Mr. Bartolone's neighbors?
Michelle?
Not, I didn't specifically invite them. I'm not sure if they were present. I'm not sure if they're involved with other of the organizations that I had mentioned.
Well, perhaps we should extend an invitation to the next council meeting
I
for
think,
them to pop in, because any construction, any drainage, anything that would happen anyway would affect them.
I think
So
Brianna
they should
had
be involved.
a comment.
Yes.
So Brienne, you're back in as a panelist. Go ahead.
So, speaking on that, we did, and you guys can look through the proposal and everything that Michelle talked to you about. We did discuss the lighting of the scoreboard and the positioning of different pieces of the equipment and how it would or wouldn't affect the people living around that area. We spoke about that at the stakeholder meeting, and the way that the scoreboards are positioned in the proposal, it should not affect any of the houses in that area.
So Brienne, stay in. I think Councilman Ego's question was, were there any of those residents present at the meeting, to the best of your knowledge?
No, there were not, but we did speak. I mean, obviously we can bring them in for another meeting, but we did speak about them and because I know a bunch of them personally, and have the what was it, the Save the Park committee, they were talking about the park and how the lighting and all that affects them.
Yeah.
We're concerned about the lighting and everything affecting anything on the scoreboards or anything affecting the neighboring area of Roosevelt. And we had looked at the structures and how everything looked, and it wasn't going to affect lighting wise any of the neighbors, but they were not at the meeting.
Okay, Alphonse, your hands is up. You are now a panelist.
Thank you, Mayor. I can't totally speak on behalf of most of my neighbors, but I can tell you this. Most of us have or have had daughters who are part of the Regal program and or Blackhawks. And I think I could say that most of us are supporters of this idea. So to that respect, I think the people on Oak Avenue do not have an objection to this. The only thing I might point out with respect to the location of the batting cage, which would be abutting someone's property. In the past, there was discussions with the Board of Ed of having that place near where I believe Regal currently has a shed, so that it would be away from residents if there's a sound from the ball and bat. But by and large, lighting's not going to be an issue. I mean, most of these games are played during the day. So that's not the scoreboard is not going to be an issue that's going to affect anybody here on Oak Avenue at all.
Okay, that's very good information, but, and I agree with it 100%, but I also agree with Councilman Kanigo's point that we should reach out to the residents on Oak and the residents on Bogart by letter and tell them that we're going to continue discussion at the next meeting. Is the council in favor of that?
Yes.
I see nodding heads.
And just to
Right.
clarify, not just about the lights on the scoreboard,
No,
it's
no.
about the entire project that
Yeah.
would have to take place there.
So Lizette, if you could have, or I don't know if that would fall to Lizette or Anna, I think it would probably fall to the clerk. If you could send letters, just like we do whenever there is something for land use, and perhaps Edwin can help us, assess. But anybody, within, what do we do? 500 feet, we send emails to? What is it, Ann?
200 feet
200 feet.
usually.
So essentially anyone within 200 feet of the fields, just send them letters, tell them that we're going to be discussing it, and they can then choose to be present or not. And that way we're consistent with our process and our procedure. Okay. Brianne, you're recognized.
Just a quick question, and I agree that you should let the neighboring people know, but then why did you not send letters out to the neighboring community when you were trying to do the Memorial Park?
That would be Michelle. Michelle, was that just an oversight? Because that was something that was run, I believe, through your department. Michelle Ryan.
Michelle was not involved in that, Mayor.
Who was involved with that?
It was,
Brianne, I don't know why that didn't happen. Maybe it did, but we'll do it again.
Okay, yeah, no, I mean, I didn't get a letter, so that's why I'm like, and that would have affected my property. So I was just wondering if that's something that you normally do.
you know, we're in a bit of an undiscovered territory here, so we might have overlooked that one. And I apologize to any residents who it might have affected, but we'll correct it for our next meeting.
Wonderful, thank you.
Welcome. All right, council, any other comments, debate? We had one motion and it has not been voted on. So we've been in debate with this one motion, which would authorize myself and Ms. Apertola, our BA, to interface with the board about this current proposal.
Mayor, I'd just like to make a comment. I'd just like to thank Michelle, Ryan, and the Rec Commission for all their hard work. And I echo everything they said in terms of the meetings. They were very positive, and I think everybody wants this to go forward. And I think Councilwoman Bastide is right. I think you engaging with the Board of Ed and getting this going is very important just to keep the momentum going. And I agree with Councilman Canelo too. Yes, we have to do that before we spend any money, but we have to take the first steps.
I'd also like one member of council, I believe it should be either you, Indira, or Michelle, either the council president or liaison, to be a part of this with, what is the council's feeling?
I think it should be Indira since she's been at all the meetings.
Is the council in agreement?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, so it will be a subcommittee of our BA, Ms. Apertola, myself, and Councilwoman Kinsella. So we're amending the motion. Can I have a motion to amend?
So
So
moved.
Second.
Okay, it's been amended. Now we are going to vote on the amended motion. Is there debate?
Just exactly what is the motion, just so we're clear?
Ellen, would you restate your motion with in an amended form?
Sure. So the motion is to authorize Mayor Papaleo, Borough Administrator Apertella, and Councilwoman Indira Kinsella to begin conversation with the River Edge Board of Education regarding the proposal that's been presented tonight, and hopefully have some feedback from them for our next meeting.
Is there further debate or comment? Hearing none, this does not normally require a roll call, but I'm going to ask for a roll call. Roll call.
Councilwoman Bastide,
Yes.
Councilman Kanigo,
I think he's frozen. Come back to him.
okay. Council President Kaufman,
yes.
Councilwoman Kinsella,
Yes.
Councilwoman Malalari,
Yes.
Councilwoman Montesano Cohen,
Yes.
Councilman Kanigo.
Yes.
Okay, so Michelle, Alicia, Alphonse, Brianne, thank you all for coming. We really appreciate it. Lizette, if you can try to set up a Zoom or a face-to-face sometime in the near future so that we can meet before, and we can, we can digest it before we come back to our next meeting. Now, oh wait, does the council wish to have our engineer, our DPW, and or any other department heads to weigh in, not in a great way, just in general, on their basic reaction? Does the council wish for any of those, all of those, or some group of those? If so, could someone make a motion and then we can, and a second, and we can then discuss or amend it as needed?
Can I just say so moved, or since you already said it, Mayor, or do I have to repeat?
So are you saying to all those people?
To all entities, yes.
Okay, to all entities, just to offer a general comment or review, not to offer expert advice, just a quick review with comment. I need a second.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. It's open for debate, comment, and amendment if needed. Is there debate, comment, or amendment?
I'm sorry, I'm going to have to abstain. I froze again, so I missed the entire conversation. I don't know what we're talking about, so I'm just going to abstain so we can move on, okay?
All right.
I have a question about that motion, though. So how do you expect them to return their comments? Are they going to just verbally tell Lizette? Are
Email.
they going to tell Michelle?
Email to the BA. and then the BA would disseminate it to the council.
Okay.
But that doesn't have to happen that way, Ellen. This is the whole point of making the motion and seeing if we want to do it.
All right,
Or
what comments? I'll still abstain, but what comments are you talking about?
you don't need to abstain, Dario.
Okay.
Don't worry about the connectivity. We'll work with that.
I just missed the
uh,
whole conversation, so I don't know what you're talking about.
So Indira made a motion that we ask for just a cursory set of comments from any or all members of our leadership. That would be the chief of police, the fire department, the DPW, as well as our engineer. Not going in depth, but just ask them to review it and have them offer comments in general without making it specific. So no in-depth, no spending of money, just generally say, hey, this is the proposal. Do you wish to offer the council any opinions, or do you wish, and if so, do so by email to the BA, and or do you wish to come to the next council meeting and offer it there?
I may amend that motion in that I think that the DPW has to be much more involved than just a cursory type of comment at any stage. So I think, with fire and police, I certainly have no issue. But with DPW, I think they need to be one of the major stakeholders here.
Okay, so a thorough review. I'll ask for a second. So this is for all of our department heads, as well as the engineer, to give a cursory view, with the exception of DPW, a more in-depth memo prepared for us, and hopefully all those memos to be received the Wednesday before the next council meeting. I added that as myself. Is there a motion for the amended motion? Can I have a motion for the amendment? Dario, since you're making it.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, now we are on the amended motion. Years of Robert's Rules of Training, you can see. Okay. Is there more debate or comment? Is there another amendment? Hearing none, roll call.
Councilwoman Bastido,
Yes.
Councilman Kanigo,
Yes.
Council President Kaufman,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kinsella,
Yes.
Councilwoman Malalari,
Yes.
Councilwoman Montesano Cohen.
Yes.
Right, is there any other action this council wishes to take, or any other debate or comments that it wishes to make about this topic before we move to another agenda item? All right, just before we leave this, Mr. Sarlo, is there anything that you would like to offer? Is there anything that we've missed that you think we should be considering? Same thing, Lizette. Ms.
Not from a legal standpoint.
Okay, Ms. Apatola?
No comment.
Okay, great. All right, then we move to item number 7, approval of the minutes. Could I have a motion from Councilman Kanigo and a second from Councilwoman Malalari in regard to approval of the minutes of the mayor, and you can make the motion and then abstain, so don't worry about that. Approve the minutes of the mayor and council regular meeting of September 29th, 2022, and approve the minutes of the mayor and council closed session and regular session October 13th, 2022. The previous one, the first one of the 29th, was only open session or regular meeting.
So moved.
Second.
We moved and seconded. This is not debatable. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstention?
Mayor, I need to abstain to B.
To B, which is mayor and council closed session, regular session, October 13th. Any other abstentions? All right, then. Item 8, open to the public on any item on the agenda. Could I have a motion from Councilwoman Montesano and a second from Councilwoman Bastido?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any abstentions or opposed? No. All right, we are open to the public. Is there any, oh, it looks like there's a lot of public.
If anyone has a question, just raise your hand and I'll allow you to speak or comment.
And remember, this is only on items on the agenda.
Ken Schaffenhauer.
Hi, good evening, Mayor and Council. Ken Schaffenhauer, 780 Millbrook Road,
Thanks, Ken.
River Ridge. Yes. So I was one of the people in attendance at the stakeholders meeting, and just a couple of things that may have gotten covered and not satisfactorily, but for those who want to take a look as far as the dugouts, the Emerson dugouts, those are at the high school on Main Street. They are very nice looking dugouts, so I think it might be worth a trip by, or just if you're driving through the area. As far as the Board of Ed's administrator who was there, did allude to the fact that they have some of the precursory work that was done in earlier conversations as far as Mr. Costa's plans and drawings. So you might be able to utilize some of that. As I said at that meeting, I'm sure Mr. Costa is more than willing to bill again for it, but there might be some good that could be gleaned from those existing plans. Brianne Etter had mentioned as far as the letter, there certainly was no letter the first go round, and I think it's important because you saw kind of the snowball effect. The communication is key in getting the neighbors involved. As somebody who lives close to the existing Little League batting cages, sound is an issue. I know we're talking generator, so you're not talking about a gas generator. The current Little League batting cages are just hand tossing and everything, but when you get a Saturday morning game at 8 a.m. and the kids are out there at 8 a.m., the ping of the bats. So you might want to also look as far as when you do the plans, needing some additional arborvitaes or something along that the fence line where that one house is, that will be butting right up against the proposed area for the batting cages. And it just was very refreshing as far as some of the others alluded to it, the spirit of cooperation. I was on the Regal board many years ago, and it was always.
And that's 2 minutes, but I'm going to let you finish up. Go ahead.
Just there was a good bit of cooperation, and it was refreshing. And the Save the Park committee, they were out in force also and wanting to see it through to fulfill the promise of the girls' park and field. So I thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome, Ken, and thank you for your comments. Is there any other member of the public who would like to make a comment? Please raise your hand.
I don't see anybody.
We'll just give them a moment, just in
Okay.
case. Somebody might be trying to work their computer. Sometimes it's a little bit difficult. All right, then. Could I have a motion to close to the public and a motion from Councilwoman Kinsella and a second from Councilman Kanigo?
So moved.
He's frozen. So, okay, from Councilwoman Kaufman. Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
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 And I think that's any opposed, any abstentions? No. Okay, great. All right, let's move on. Appointments and personnel change. Could I have a motion from Councilwoman Montesano Cohen and a second motion from Councilwoman Molinari to the personnel and appointments changes once I finish reading them? Could I have for approve the resignation of Andrew M. Colucci, municipal prosecutor, November 30th, 2022. He did a great job. He's gotten a full-time job and we wish him well. Just because you don't normally see the prosecutor resigning. So that's the only comment I'm going to make. I'm not going to make a comment on anybody else, but just so that we know, we have a temporary we have a temporary that will take over. Okay, B, approve the $500 stipend for Scott Adder, road foreman in the Department of Public Works for obtaining the ACRT certificate per the contract effective July 1st, 2022. Same, approve a $500 stipend for Ken Morris, tree trimmer 1 in the Department of Public Works for obtaining an ACRT certification per the contract effective July 1st. The same, approve a $500 stipend for Benjamin Mullen, laborer 2 in the Department of Public Works for obtaining an ACRT certificate per contract effective July 1st. The same, approve a $500 stipend for Eric Phillips, tree trimmer 1st. By the way, Benjamin was laborer 2. I might have said that wrong. Tree trimmer 1st back to Eric Phillips in the Department of Public Works for obtaining the ACRT certificate for the contract July 1st, 2022. And finally, approve a $500 stipend for Eric Schultz, equipment operator 1 in Department of Public Works for obtaining the pesticide license per the contract July 1st, 2022.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. I believe this requires a roll call. Tom, is that a shake head? Yes? Yes. So roll call, please.
Councilwoman Bastu,
Yes.
Councilman Kanigo,
Yes.
Council President Kaufman,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kinsella,
Yes.
Councilwoman Malalari,
Yes.
Councilwoman Montesano Cohen.
Yes.
Okay, there are monthly reports on file for any member of the public would like to peruse it. Fire to Prevention, July 1st through September 30th. Land Use Board, September 28th. Board of Health, October. Environmental and Green Team, September, and Recreation Committee, July. And they, of course, have all of 2022. Okay, we have resolutions. Could I have a motion from Councilwoman Bastide and a second one from Councilman Kanigo to move by unanimous consent resolutions 22-297 through 22-301 with the exception of 22-309 with the exception of 22-301, which has already been approved.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. This is open for debate. Is there debate, comment, or question? Hearing none. Tom, this would be unanimous consent or roll call? I think it's unanimous consent.
Yeah, unanimous consent's fine.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? All right. Could I have our Finance Chair, Council President Kaufman move 22-310?
At a regular meeting of the Mayor and Council of the Borough of River Edge, County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, held on October 24, 2022, be it resolved that the Mayor and Council of the Borough of River Edge approve the following expenditures. Current fund, $1,254,798.34. Grant fund, $1,534.50. So moved.
Second.
All right, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstention? Okay, is there any old business or, no, I'm sorry. Is there any new business or anything for discussion? We're gonna run those together since I don't see anything on the agenda. I love it when a plan comes together. Old business, tabled resolution 22-281, authorizing the assignment of a developer's contract. Have we, Lizette, are we ready to move on that, or is that still, we're waiting for, I believe it's trust money?
Yes, we're still waiting for information as to whether the escrow is being transferred or is going to be refunded from the prior developer and accepted from the new one. So that's still being worked out with our land use attorney.
Okay, can you update us on construction projects?
Sure. Going to the Riverside Co-op, one pending item involved the testing of Beach Drive north of the asphalt. And the testing result came in fine within parameters. And it was reviewed by the borough engineer, by Rob Costa. And we need to implement a new grading plan. And that would require a change order for, as part of the grading plan, about 150 feet need to be milled and paved again. To install a seepage pit would just create a mosquito condition in the spring, summer, and fall. So if the governing body is in favor of doing so, we could try to get this done before the project closes out for the entire cooperative in November.
Are there funds already allocated to that, or would we need to find funds?
We would have to either find funds from other capital projects or see if there's certain things that came under budget with that line.
Do you feel hopeful about finding the funds? So I assume, since you did mention going out for emergency funding, that you feel that you might be able to find that.
Yes, I could work within the various capital lines to find it.
Okay, so you're looking for the council to approve that. Do you want a formal vote, or do you just want unanimous consent?
Just unanimous consent because once it's all finalized, the change order has to be put on for a resolution.
All right. Is there unanimous consent? If there is, please say aye.
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 I,
Is there any opposed? All right, next.
We received the results of the train station parking lot, so Mr. Costa is looking to schedule a meeting with the contractor about that. And speaking of parking lots, the one across the street of Borough Hall, it will be completed, hopefully weather permitting, by this Saturday, including initially, if the concrete work was not moving as fast as it was, they were going to stop it, let the concrete work be done, do the milling and paving after the election. But as crews are moving along, the milling will take place Thursday and Friday, and the parking lot will be paved on Saturday. And we will be in compliance since we were put on notice last year by the JIF.
So what Ms. Albertola is saying for the public's benefit is that parking lot needed to be done because the JIF, the Joint Insurance Fund, put us on notice that it was not in compliance. And so the council approved this construction project back in January, February, and March when we did our budget practice. Is that not correct, Ms. Albertola?
Correct.
So
We were put on notice last year. I did notify that this would be a 2022 project.
So we are in compliance with notification and now we have completed. Excellent. Anything else?
With the upper train station lot on Center Avenue, it'll take about 3 to 4 weeks. We're just waiting for a retaining wall and concrete work to start, but with today's weather, that has caused a couple of days delay. But we did notify the permit holders that this project was supposed to start this week, but it's all contingent upon the weather.
Okay.
The Reservoir Avenue sidewalk project under the Community Development Block Grant is currently underway and is expected to take about 3 weeks. And that is all that I have. And I did send out an email earlier today. I have to look at everybody's responses. We did adopt the tree planting resolution for the shade tree program. And so next week, I believe on Tuesday, but I will formalize it with the borough clerk. We will have a meeting to authorize the purchasing of the trees. And also we had the bid opening last week for the interior demolition work as part of the Borough Hall repair project. So resolution will be listed also to approve that bid so we could start that project underway. We're in the process of finalizing the move of the departments and lightening the load of the building, sending files for archive storage.
Okay. Now I know we're really talking about construction, but I think it's beneficial to the there is a public benefit to just reiterating where the different departments are going. And if we could, we probably want to make that, and if we could, if the council is in agreement, we can make that a line item right after approval of minutes that we just review, make an announcement of for the next couple of meetings, maybe until the construction is done, just where that is. So Lizette, would you go through the different departments and also your expected moving dates, if you know them, and expecting closing dates of Borough Hall?
Well, the
No,
building
I'm sorry,
department,
let me rephrase that. The front part of Borough Hall, the administrative building, not of the police department. Go ahead.
correct. The building department and health department have been relocated already to 10 River Edge Road.
Which is the old Shade Tree building across from the train station.
Correct.
Good.
The finance department will be relocated to the public safety building on the 2nd floor. All other departments will be working in a hybrid type of format. And if the public needs to interface, we will still have access to our phone lines, to our emails, and we can make appointments to meet. We would meet in the courtroom again, by appointment. We'll be having our bid openings either virtually or in the courtroom. And we met with the moving company to assist with the relocation of the file cabinets and the furniture, and we're still trying to finalize that date. It would either be November 15th and 16th or November 21st. That's still being worked out. I'll have more information in the coming days. And then the main thing is finance will be offline for a couple days because of the move, but that we're making sure that that does not happen during the tax collection time period. And there is a new drop box that will be installed in the police department lobby for all departments instead of having people use the drop box that's currently on the main Borough Hall side for safety reasons.
Okay, so let's, just for the public's benefit, the police department's lobby is open 24 hours a day. You just have to buzz yourself, buzz, and they'll let you in. And that the public should know that they can always drop off during the entire construction period their tax payment at that box, which is in the police department's lobby.
Correct, and not just the tax payment, anything for any of the departments.
Excellent, excellent. And just to reiterate, the only the main offsite group is permanently moved offsite is Building and Health, which are currently in the old Shade Tree building across from the train station in the middle of town.
Yes, and they're fully functional. Their computers are working, their phone lines are working. We're in the process of installing security cameras there. So
All right.
they're ready.
I know that was a bit, we went through each of that detail, but I think it's good that because the public is often asking that question. Lizette, could we have a memo on that? And so that I can put that on the mayor's page and we can put it on the website if it's not already on the website.
We have on the website about the building department and the health department relocation. Just waiting to finalize the move and what days finance will be offline. But like I said, that will be after the 10-day grace period of tax collection.
Okay, great. And that'd be great. And when you finally have everything and we can put it in memo form on the website, please send me a copy so I can add it to the Mayor of River Edge Facebook page. And of course, send a copy to every member of council.
Yes.
All right, excellent. Any other construction projects?
Next week on, because already it's Halloween, on November 2nd, it's the second bid opening for the Voorhees Drainage Project and the flashing beacons.
Excellent. Anything else?
No, we're winding down as it's the end of the
So you
year.
could just give a recap to Valley Road.
Valley Road, that project is complete. The new retaining wall is done. The restoration work is done. The fence replacement to the adjacent property owners is all done. We're just waiting for the final bill.
Okay, and I stopped by on 2 different occasions. I saw one resident on one occasion, the other resident on another occasion. I think they're satisfied with our restoration of their property. So kudos to Lizette, to Bob Costa, our engineer, Lizette Apertola, our BA, to all of the Costa's administration, including, what's Jason's last name in Costa's?
Flores.
Jason Flores. And everyone else who worked to make this possible. It was an emergency repair. It was a necessary repair. And I think it went exceedingly well. I know I'm very grateful. I think the council is too. Anything else, Lizette?
No.
Any other old business from any member of council? Okay, we need to open to the public for any comments. Could I have a motion and second? A motion from Councilwoman Kinsella and a second from Councilman Kenigo to open to the public.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
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 You're open to the public. Does any member of the public wish to ask any question or make any comment? We do have somebody. When you
Right.
come on, please make sure you say your name and address.
Hi, this is Ray Stitz, 210 Mohawk Drive.
Hey, Ray, I'm glad you're here. Go ahead.
Okay, I just sent out tonight a notice that we're going to have the Veterans Day ceremony on November 11th at 11 o'clock. And this is the first time that the schools will not be joining us.
Oh,
They decided to have a 30-minute breakfast with the veterans on the 14th.
oh, wow.
So, we knew at the last minute this was happening. So it's quite unnerving that the new superintendent would decide to change something that's been in existence for quite a while. And we will be dedicating Joe's Stone that day. The DPW is going to be installing it for us. Koch did all the work for the stone for nothing.
Wow.
And it was, well, I explained a story about Joe, and he
Again, because the public's listening.
would do it for free. So,
Okay. Oh, you explained to Costa, and that's why he said he'd do it for free. That's wonderful. But if you want to say a few words about Joe so the public can hear it, this will go on Facebook and YouTube. So if you want to take maybe 30 seconds and just say a few words, if you're not comfortable doing this off the cuff, you don't need to.
No, Joe was a dedicated crossing guard for us, and also a dedicated leader of the veteran organization in town. And Joe made sure that we all stood tall on Veterans Day and Memorial Day, and he helped any veteran that needed help. So this is a lasting tribute to Joe. The stone is going to be exactly where Joe would stand during the ceremonies. And I contacted his granddaughters. They will be coming. So it should be a good event.
Should be. Ray, I have to apologize. Because I'm a school teacher, I can't come, but the council president is coming in my stead to represent myself as well as the rest of the council, and she'll say a few words. And again, my apologies for not being able to be there.
No, understood. But I'm glad that the administrator reached out to everybody and alerted them. It sort of escaped us. I had my own little issues this summer, so I want to thank her for reaching out to everybody.
Wonderful. Anything else, Ray?
No, that is all. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ray. You have a good one.
Okay.
Is there any other member of the public who would like to speak? Please raise your hand at this time, and you will be made a panelist.
Does not look like there's anyone else.
All right. Could I have a motion from Councilwoman Malari and a second from Councilwoman Montesano Cohen to close to the public?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
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 All right. Are there any council comments?
I just had one. The River Edge Volunteer Fire Department is having a recruitment drive on November 6th at Company 1 from 10 a.m. till 12 noon. So anyone who is interested can show up and meet the members and ask questions and sign up to join.
Okay, I'm glad you said that because that reminds me. I have a few call outs for the police department, shout outs for their wonderful job. But are there any other council comments before I get into that?
I would just say, I believe that November 11th, which is Veterans Day, is also the teachers' convention, which may be why with the schools closed, may be why the schools are not participating.
Oh, yes, and I'm going to the convention. And so I'm actually going to be out of school, but I'm committed to, maybe, let me see if I can't rearrange that. Maybe I can be there with you, Michelle.
Ray, if you want to say something.
Ray, you want to say something else? Ray, go ahead. You just have to unmute yourself.
Okay, okay. I understand that they were on the teachers convention, and we've dealt with that in the past. But he's totally changed and said, we're not doing that. We're doing a breakfast instead. Have a nice day.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Ray,
Yeah,
I
so-
think I have classes in Atlantic City on the 10th, but not on the 11th. So if I'm back, I'll join Councilwoman Kaufman because it's a PD. But if I can in any way rearrange my schedule to be there, I will be there with Councilwoman Kaufman.
You're always welcome.
And since she's preparing comments and my attendance might be iffy, would it be okay if we both spoke or if she just spoke? Go ahead, Ray, you're still open.
Okay, sure, you can both speak.
Okay, great. Because I wouldn't want her to prepare something and me show up at the last minute and they're like, well, Michelle, you're not talking. That wouldn't be fair.
No, it would be fine.
Okay, great. I'm so glad that we did that. Okay. Very good then. Thank you, Ray.
welcome.
Any other member of council wish to speak? Okay. And if you change your mind after I finish, feel free. So on October 7th, a resident named Bob, I'm not going to say the last names, sent a letter to the chief and to Detective Lee. Dear Detective Lee, I wanted to offer my sincere gratitude once again for your kind gesture today from someone with your responsibility to take the time to deliver a lost wallet to a stranger speaks highly about your personal qualities. Thank you again. So that is one of our community policing compliments. This letter is from a resident. Their first name is Joellen and Rob. Captain Casey just wanted to make you aware that the Temple Shalom High Holy Day services, your police department, police officer, Matt Patowski, in addition to keeping the congregation safe by his presence, the officer went out of his way to assist the members in keeping them dry as they earned the temple during the pouring rain. As I quoted from it, this officer went above. Did I read these before? Did I forget to move them off? I think I might have. Above and beyond, this is just another example of a great community policing. And I think I have one more. No, I do not. Okay, so those are it. Any other member of council have a comment? If not, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
May I just want to,
Go
I
ahead.
just want to say again, thank you to Michelle Ryan for the presentation and for Brienne, Alphonse, and Alicia for participating in the meeting tonight.
Yes, I agree. Hear, hear. Anything else? Could I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Great work, everyone. Have a good night.
Good night.
Night.